regardless of spiritual attacks or magical attacks, just the person not liking you is enough of an attack what you want to prevent. If you sit in front of a camera in front of 30 people, it's different than sitting around in a circle because that protects a bit. But in front of a camera, everybody sits in their space and they have different, very different motivations to watch this. And you just want to be protected to continue your work and not be burned out after 3 weeks and hate your job. Um, like I witnessed many times with my psychics. I won't look at anybody, of course. Uh, yeah, the alien face. Um, so it's important to stand in your middle, hold your ground. And funny enough, um, the spirituality attracts the darkness. That doesn't mean that these people can't watch and still send some bad juju over. So that is the reason why, regardless if you believe in curses or any of spells or all of this, but let me assure you that is just knowledge what fortifies bad intentions in case of dark magic, and it works. Yes, it works because we have a lot of old deeper knowledge what we don't understand today anymore. Some older cultures preserved it, and the magical books what I was initiated in mostly back far before the time of Christ. Let's talk about timelines now. So, um, what is the polarization? Um, Everybody, I believe, had basic anatomy in school. We compare it to a cell, a human cell, or even a plant cell, has an outside, a border, and that border is like a membrane. What is a membrane? A membrane is something what selectively takes in the good stuff and protects the cell core from harmful invaders. So does your energy field as well, and that's the etheric layer. Far too often, the etheric layer is though Swiss cheese, Emmental, in most people, what I'm seeing, and that makes them far too susceptible. And that's why we have a lot of empaths and hermits. You would think of a hermit of somebody who sits alone on a mountain, but we have in the modern life cities more hermits than ever before. People who live their parallel reality and really just go out for shopping, not just because of the times we are living in, but simply because they can't handle people. With this knowledge, though, they could digest these people easier. So the 13th layer is called the etheric layer and figures as the etheric layer and helps the other layers to recover, helps your core to be safe. That is the simple way to put it. So we delve a bit deeper into that today, and what I would like to do is record that for the people who are not here, and even for yourself to rewatch it. It would be useful, I believe. Um, so, I will start the recording, explain a bit about the theory, and then I would like to do a polarization together for all of us. We start with the simple polarization. The polarization has three main phases, but let me record and then we start talk. Start. Oh, highest priestess is already recording. Fantastic. Okay. Um, so the three phases of the polarization. So the simple polarization. What is it? as we just summed it up, it's the 13 layer, your etheric layer of your energy field being closed. How do we reach that? While in perfect harmony and happiness, it happens to happen naturally. Unfortunately, this is very rare for most people, and it's often not enough because there might be a chakra blockage or a trauma or any other energetic blockages what might prevent this. Yeah. So the polarization technique teaches us how to put us in this state. That doesn't mean you necessarily feel blissed out or totally harmonic, but it means at least on the energetic level, you put everything into place to get into that state. Okay, so it's not necessarily about balance and bliss, but it is about protection and growth. Yeah. As every plant, every human, the right environment defines the growth and the state of healed, not necessarily the science fiction what we get shown in TV these days more than ever. Okay, so how do we reach it? The what most people don't understand or don't know, and what is left away, don't be fooled. Spirituality is very controlled as well. We all know the main chakra system, the seven chakra points, what we see in the Indic Vedas, they are defined there. Though those are secondary. Why do I say they are secondary? Because your energy fields here are first from the source seen, and they are producing this field and bringing you to life in first place. Because as good as your bio machine is, you need energy, the etheric energy, to function and to live. Otherwise, you something like Frankenstein, and not necessarily a living being. So these two side vortexes, we can pretty much say from your navel, from your sacral chakra, in a line, they are here. So they are rotating and they create the other chakra system. Yeah. Um, so these chakra systems on the side are described in many old cultures. It's not that we have something new. The only new is always what we have forgotten or we were led to forget. It's like with my little baby boy. When I want to take a toy away, I play with this hand and the other hand does this. And that is how our handlers work very much too. But we don't go into that, but we go into solutions, okay? And that's what I also want to remind you when you work in this line of job, focus on solutions, not on the problems. Because your client will be focused on the problem, and that's why the problem exists and gets fortified rather than solving it, okay? So these two energy fields have, for our comprehension or to simplify it, a speed. Yeah, that means you will perceive one is more potent than the other. That means you will perceive it that, let's say, one example, the left one turns quicker and the right one is slower, and that brings a disbalance, and that will prevent that body system, this trinity of the middle and these two vortexes are polarized. Yeah. Um, so that's why we call it the polarization process. So what you will do to polarize it is first we train to perceive these two energy fields. I cannot really do much for you aside from telling you to train that, because you have the abilities to perceive this. everybody. That has nothing to do with a gift. And if you're absolutely not able to perceive this, you might think on detoxing yourself, because your body naturally has these abilities to perceive these things. Okay. I do witness people who were not in the spiritual world. They didn't feel anything with the wands or any other thing, because they were completely numb. That's the same water. You can give them tap water or the best source water, and they would still say it's water. Okay, well, go back to Coca-Cola then. That's the only thing I can tell you at that stage. So, um, what is important too is the groundings. Everybody, well, most of you know the grounding of the feet. It's very important in most meditations. What gets left out though is the grounding of the third eye and the crown to the source. It's a very important grounding as well. Both sides of your main chakra system needs to be grounded. We are anyway connected to the source all the time. That's not the worries, but fortifying it in other terms than just a mantra or a prayer is very important, because it seems, in my experience with the spiritual, that the high forces, our creator, doesn't necessarily like our definitions of God, but rather honors the simple visualization more than our words. So consider that part also in your manifestations, to not say, I want a new car and I want. Sometimes consider also to be the servant of the universe rather than seeing your creator as a wish box. That would be very important, because you don't know always if what you want is the best for you. How many times can everybody remember, I want this, and years later it turns out what you really got was far more favorable than what you wished for. Okay, so maybe try to formulate when you wish that you that you rather ask for an affirmation, what serves my highest good, my purpose, my path, than a new BMW. Okay, so so the two groundings we set, and the adjustment of the energy field. So if there is blockages in one of your chakra systems, we can push through. That is one way. If we deal with a very heavy blockage in a person, we probably need to clean that blockage first in one way or another one, but we ain't going into that. And in this session at least, we will later go and do more specific energy training. We focus just on the polarization today. In case we have a person here with a heavy blockage, I would just push it through just to have a polarization in and train the example, and we can always talk in deblocking that. Okay, but that's not important now. So that is the first polarization. That would be one layer of polarization. That means the 13th layer is polarized and the 12 layers under that are protected. The next stage of the polarization is compressing that field and putting certain new layers over. That means your center, your energetic center, is the 14th chakra, which is up the navel and a bit higher towards your spine. As more you can compress this in your center, as more dense you become, and as more energy and information you attract, which is very important for you as a clairvoyant, is that the energies flow to you easily. So aside from a healthy body, the density is very important, because we know that the life energy, which contains the information, flows always from a weak to a strong source. Okay, if you want more information on that, you can read Dr. Wilhelm Reif's works. They can prove it. You can redo these experiments, and you will see it works every time. So this process gets repeated 12 times. Then you would have 12 densities in, and the last step is the golden egg. The golden egg is basically 13 layers, and the 13 layer itself will appear golden for the people who have the clairvoyance to see it, because it's basically a double layer. But we ain't going into that. That is complicated and very progressed over the time. If you stay in the trainings, we might reach this level, but don't be fooled, that is not an easy level. Some masters train 6 months every day to get there. Some people come naturally there, but I didn't see somebody who just did it. Okay, that's like, you want to run a marathon, you don't start with the full distance. You would start with several miles, and you need to train your body and develop your body to get there. Okay, as muscles, also your neuronal and other networks in your body needs to adapt to the energy conduit. Naturally, you have everything, but naturally, um, your body is built that what you don't use will degress. That is just a natural thing. You know it if you have a cast. After 6 weeks, you take it off, and one arm is so thin, and the other one is as it was before. Okay, so that is just this part.
I have a
Let me just see.
question.
Hmm?
I have a question. Earlier, you mentioned also grounding for the third eye and the crown, and I'm not sure if I understood that correctly. So that is then about the way how you visualize when you want to manifest, that you're not only putting it in words, but also visualizing it and also reconsidering how you formulate was what
Yes,
grounding.
absolutely, absolutely. The most powerful manifestation is, funny enough, wordless and imageless. Um, the words and the images will actually weaken your request. Okay, you will stand longer in line if you use words or visualization. Yeah, it is just to skip the line. That's the important thing. The most it's the feelings. If you can say, to simplify it, of course it's not completely correct, but just to simplify it and explain your question, if you can request a certain feeling, okay, remember this moment of complete bliss when you were completely happy, balanced, and on your path. And when you send this to the center of the galaxy, to God, that's what you will get sent back multifold. And that is much quicker than all of the people who sit there and pray and visualize. So that is also the highest form of magic, not the one with a ritual or any of that. It is because it's a natural way of doing it. Yeah, you send out and you get, it comes mirrored back. If you do good to others, it comes back to you in some form or another. And if you do that to the most high, whatever that is for you, it comes back to. Trust me on that one, just. Okay, so I just finish off the theory with a few images, and then I think we go over to the practical part. So this image we all know, I guess. Prices was here. So we have left is red, and right is blue. Left represents the female implosive force in your body. The right side is your male explosive force, and the middle part is actually what we call the violet flame. Okay. If I do and teach the polarization to very, very developed clairvoyants, they will perceive the violet flame, and it's not any Saint-Germain affirmation bullshit nonsense. It is the reality what matters. Okay, the violet flame is the polarization, because you will revive exactly this part, and that's why I like this representation with the violet in the middle. Okay, if you polarize, your whole chakra system looks like a violet flame, and the different chakra points will vanish, because the representation of the chakra points is actually falsely represented. So, how can we understand our energy system? Well, energies don't have emotion. Energies are timeless. Energy are basically motionless because they are eternally quick and slow in the same time, something what our small human minds cannot comprehend. But we know one thing is that our body is mainly contained of water. So we know also that the water obeys to the laws of the vortex dynamics. That is the main, and that's why the energies in the body will function in the vortex dynamics. Huh? So here's a bit to explain you the vortex dynamic. That is the egg, and then we have left turning, right turning, and both are present in the same field. Yeah. So this image is false. I nonetheless show it to you because it's the image says it's like that. That's how your energy field looks, and that is of course caca. But if we turn it around like this, we're getting closer. Okay, so here we have these two vortexes, and in the middle we have, it's mostly in egg form. Okay, there's no torus or any of that. If so, you have a serious problem in your energy field. That is for sure. So, again, here we have as above, so below applies. That means a vortex consists of many little vortexes, yeah? As we can see here, this is the works of Victor Schauberger, and all of these vortexes contain again the same dynamic as above, so below, as without, as within. In other words, everything repeats itself in every divine mechanism, yeah? So here again, this is a turbine, forget the lower part, you see the two vortexes, and in the middle is our chakra system or the violet flame, yeah? So that is the dynamic, the ground system where every living thing is built on energetically. If you understand that part and you start to see it, you will see it's very simple and perfectly simple, and everything works. The only thing what makes it not working is the human mind, because we complicate things and we don't comprehend our limitations, and we are far too arrogant very often, a lot of us. Okay, I'm not saying all, but yeah. So here again, that is if you really very left-brained. Here is the mathematics what go with the vortex mechanics done by the Kepler Institute in Austria, how the expansion works, how creation works, and here again we see in the mathematics, it's also the egg is even represented in the mathematics. So the egg is an important form and shape. Why is the egg so important? Well, it's the only shape where we can have a standing liquid what doesn't go off. If it would go off, we wouldn't have birds or any of that, yeah? Um, so even the seemingly round eggs of the fish are actually not round. They are having, yeah, and again that lifts fish eggs. What get used as an example to disprove this are in water most of the time by nature of fish, and therefore it will get fat a lot of energies exchange what we don't see of the surrounding area. So okay, that is the theory in short. There would be much more to say, but I don't want to make you crazy now with theory. Let's go to the practical part and do a little polarization together. So all you need is yourself. Sit in a comfortable position, and I will guide you through the different steps. Explain the different steps while we are doing them. The same is I will make sure that everybody gets it in who wants to take part. That means, of course, with your permission, I will scan your energy field and, if necessary, push the right levers to make this process happen. Is that okay for everybody? If not, just tell me and I will, of course, opt out. If nobody says something, I assume it is okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the first thing in this kind of meditations, what we do is adjusting the breathing. What does that mean? Normally, we call it conscious breathing. So it starts with a few deeper breaths, and after these deeper breaths are in, we slowly we slow down the breathing and we try to feel the energy flow with the breathing. Okay, that is not as hard as it sounds because it's supposed to be natural, but since it's a subconscious function, most people don't really bring in any conscious, and that is, of course, energy follows attention, the conscious attention, yeah, not the robot attention. So conscious is the spirit. So that's the first step. Then we go to the groundings. In groundings, it's not one cord to one foot somewhere to the earth. That is too simple. Everything follows the law of three. Everything is three in creation, the Trinity, which we see in many religions as well. So we have three grounds, and or 6 or 9 or 12 or 15, depending on what kind of exercise you do. That counts for each foot, and I would advise to do it to the center of the earth, but also to our central sun, because our earth is giving birth at the moment, which makes these poles, these grounds break very easily. The birth process you can see in the Schumann resonance for anybody who is interested, and that's why having the double insurance with the sun is having a minimum solar minimum at the moment, so it's very quiet and your grounds would stick much longer. Okay, so the second grounding, which is less known, third eye and crown, each time three again. What you want to visualize, that depends on your beliefs. Okay, I would say the most easiest form is the center of the galaxy. What some scientists call a black hole is the source of all things in this galaxy. You can imagine the source, you can imagine the creator. It might be a man with a big beard, not me. Whatever you want to imagine, there is up to you. Okay, that's really something I don't want to talk in anybody's beliefs of what the divine is, but I just give a few examples to help you. Okay, so we take each time three lines. I would think for this exercise we go with 9 on each foot, and then we go over and feel this energy field. So is that understood? But I will guide you through the different steps, and then sit in a comfortable position, and I will guide you through this exercise. Huh? Okay, I'm using these wands. It's not some dark magic. We can talk about that in another point. That is just an amplifier. Okay, adjusting our breath. Take a few deep breaths. Try with each breath you take in, honoring the life you're getting, and the breathing out is the dead life leaving your body. The dead life is the oxygen without life energy, basically, because your body took it out. So feel that, and we start with the right foot. So 3 lines to the center of the earth, and the central sun. The colors don't play a role. If you want it to be more stable, violet is the most stable color. If you need to have some fancy coloring of this thing. Okay. Then we go to 6. Over to 6, please. 6 lines from your right foot to the center of the earth and the central sun. And we repeat the same, and we end up with 9 for the right foot. And I feel a lot going on in many of you. Means most of you were not grounded since a while. And we go over to the left foot. We repeat the same process again. Okay. Some are slower than others, but the last one is done. And so, next process, the third eye and the crown. So, imagine a double binding. So 9 in total is fine. Again 3, and then to the center of the galaxy, God, the source, whatever you feel attracted most to. And we go to 6. Keep up the breathing. Try to keep that conscious. Don't forget already about it again. And 9. Okay, perfect. Okay. If you can, hold your hands on the side and try to feel your energy fields. And try to feel which one is slower. We want to speed up the slow one, not slow down the quick one. Okay? We go for rising, not for anything less. Okay. So we have a few people who are a bit more advanced. If you feel the slow side, please adjust it. And the people who struggle, I let you do. And I will jump in, but I want to give you a chance to feel that yourself and try it yourself before I'm interfering here in any way. Try to loosen the tension. Some of you guys look like you sit on the potty. No need to push like that. Yeah, that feels better already. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I will go over one by one. Okay, Highest Priestess is not paying complete attention, but she's done. I know that. Pericles, not really, I'm surprised. Your right side, Pericles. Your friend, sorry, I don't know the name. I forgot. Left side is pretty close. Push left a bit more, please. And you got it. And it's the right side. You pushed it already a bit more, and you got it too. And yeah, you pretty close is your left side. A bit more, please. Okay, Pericles, you good? I think you're good too. I see a polarization. I see it kicking in though very slowly, which means you were not polarized for a while. That's not a problem though. As more often you repeat the exercise, you will see that the polarization will change how it takes place. If you perceive somebody, once you might train people yourself, if the polarization goes slowly from the 14th chakra outwards, that means that that person was probably not polarized in a very long time. Okay, so can you push a bit more? I can help you if you like, because the right side is okay. I give you the visual I'm getting. Your left side is pretty harmonious and pretty nice, which is your creative side. Your right side, the doing side. It goes actually quicker as the left side. That's why it might be confusing for you. But it goes quicker until a certain moment, and then it goes tick. It stops all the time. Okay, it's either a little blockage in the chakra, I think the throat, funny enough, but we can push through. So once you have that, okay, that means action follow words in your case, or have to follow words. Sorry, I don't want to judge it now. It's not a judgment. We just talk energetically here now, okay? Please don't get me wrong. So push strong. If you allow me, I will help pushing it a bit, okay? Then let's go. See, it's in now. I think what you did, and if I perceive that right, correct me if I'm wrong, you take the bigger circle and you try to push it on the outside, okay? The center has more power. If you push it in the center, you have far more power. If you try on the outside, you don't reach everything, okay? Your arms are not even long enough to reach the outside of the circle, so to speak. I think that's where the technical problem was, but that's not a problem. Okay, Pericles, what was your friend's name again? She has the left side, which is slightly slower still. Sorry, forgive me, I forgot the name. Yeah, left side. If it's okay, I help her push that in too. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And okay. Yeah, it's hard to push in because your sacral chakra has a slight blockage. I will push a bit stronger. Huh? Yeah, okay. It's in now, but it's definitely the sacral chakra what um, eats the flow here, so to speak. The polarization, so your throat chakra blockage is might be a temporary thing, okay? Sometimes the chakra blocks if you are not allowed to speak your mind or something like that. It's not necessarily a temporary, it might be a temporary blockage, okay? Hey, yeah, yours is in. Yours is in. Just saying, okay. But you were more round sometimes before because we work already together since a long time. At the moment, it's less round. It's a bit bumpy along the way. But it's in now, Terry. Okay. Huh? Yeah, come say night night to me. Sorry, guys. You too. Okay. All right. Okay, we go deeper and delve deeper into the polarization. This was just a bit of an introduction and into the energy works as well. So, uh, how long is the polarization supposed to last? We say up to 48 hours, but that is in a perfect world, and our world is not always perfect. But usually, if you do this exercise before you go online or before you start working with a client, that is good enough. If you repeat this exercise more often and you become more conscious of your energies, you will automatically want to do this because it's a pretty quick exercise, especially the simple polarization. If you if you go to a level, certain standard level, it shouldn't take you more than 30-40 seconds to do it. And if you go to the master level, I think I get the simple polarization in under 3 seconds in. It's not that hard. You will, as you do it more, you will not have all this visual thing. You push a feeling rather than pushing all of these steps. Okay, so, as in anything in energy work, it's we creating a feeling rather than these visualizations are just crutches to get there. Okay, but for the readers who use it, especially going online, they appreciate it and they see the difference if they were polarized or not. Okay, uh, so I would think that we start with a few readings. We are already 50 minutes in, or an hour, but I would still have a few readings going and do the correcting of the readings of the very same.